Okay, let's start the meeting with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we will start today. I think the department heads are scheduled first, and at 4 o'clock we have, I'm excited to see you. I know you're gonna ask me.
Glad you are today.
Okay, is Sheriff Malone with all the different budget areas you have.
Yeah. I had a really long speech, but I cut that down a lot. One thing that you will see on our budget, I think it's time that we move forward. You guys were very gracious to give us some extra deputies 2 years ago. And I would like for you to put in the budget that I've asked for a sergeant position. It's not going to be a whole lot more. It's going to be make a little bit more than a regular deputy. It's going to be in between the lieutenant's position as well as the deputy. So I'm hoping you would consider that. I think it'd be good for this agency to have that, except, sometimes on night shift is different than day shift. And it's nice to have a go-to person there at nighttime. I'm not for sure if I always give the best answers at 2 a.m. when my phone rings, but I do the best I can. So I just think it's time that we move forward and have that position.
Is that currently open? I mean, is that?
No,
It's under the third deputy.
yes, it would be there.
So if you already have someone for that, or it would just be a fill
No,
spot?
if it gets approved, we would put somebody in.
Okay, so it's not an additional, it's just a little extra pay.
Yes, yes, unless you want to give me that. So,
I don't have that money.
yeah,
Well-
so I didn't answer that.
You
So,
gotta find some first.
yes.
I know you're working on it.
The other thing I want to talk about, I know it's not a good topic to talk about, but the raises. You can look across the state and you will see, as well as here, deputies leaving for better pay. And you can see, it's not just here. We have a bad luck here recently with retaining deputies. It's been great in the past, but a lot of things have happened here. Yes, I am leaving, unfortunately, but I do know some other deputies have left due to they're going to different jobs and not staying in law enforcement. And it's just not us, I promise you. You can Google it right now and you will see across the country, people are losing law enforcement officers to other jobs. This is not, when I applied over 30 years ago, it was one of the most sought after jobs besides being a teacher. It is not that way anymore. I hope people look at us a little different in the future. Law enforcement is dangerous, we all know that. Correctional officers is dangerous, we all know that. So it's time that we start addressing that more. It's time that we really need to look at the future of law enforcement. I am scared for law enforcement in the future. I am. We're not getting the applicants that we used to have. It used to be a big turnout when we had openings. It was kind of exciting, but we've learned lately, this job is not the most popular anymore. And I think a lot of it is the money, but some of it isn't. It is the society that we live in right now. It is a very, very, very tough, tough job. So please consider get rid of the stipend and put a raise in there to get it equal to what they were making. Because I'm afraid if we get rid of that and they're gonna make around $3,000 less next year than they are making now, it's gonna be hurting this county. And that is something we don't wanna do. I think, I'm not maybe I'm a little biased because I've been a law enforcement officer for over 30-something years. But I am scared for how it's gonna look in the future for here. So please consider that, these stipends. Please give us the raises that they deserve and then the raises that they need. So, what else do we have?
We didn't know in terms of the reason we asked for, they not only asked for on vehicles.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were purchase outright or if you wanted to lease, but that was just to allow for a purchase, situation.
There's a situation of free vehicles.
I think it would actually, I'm good for it. I think so.
Is that outfitting them?
Not after, yeah, we would have to be creative in doing that. Could we be able to borrow and steal from some of the equipment that we already have?
So there's 60,000 apiece.
Well,
Is that?
it'll include some of the upfitting too.
Okay.
Yes,
That was real high if you got the trucks.
yes, but that'll do that, right, you're right. That will help with the upfitting, which is needed. My original plan, and that's fine, it failed. I wanted to do a lease program. But I will tell you, as of about June or July, we were out of money for repairs. And so far, I've been able to keep up, pay it out of commissary, but I don't know how much it's gonna last, guys. I really don't.
What type of issues are you having? Just like regular maintenance things?
Regular maintenance, breakdowns, every one of our vehicles, just about, that are on the road have over 100,000 miles. And it is time that we could move forward.
The trucks, the ones that we just bought that had 60 to 80, they were over.
They're reaching 100,000 miles. I erased it because we had to use the board the other day.
I mean, I know
But
your
they're-
pool cars are pretty good.
Yeah, they were
They're
close
pretty
to 100,000 miles, every one of them. I know a bunch of them are over 100.
I would imagine from the reports that you guys gave me that there might be two vehicles that are right at 100 or under, and then the rest is probably over that.
Over, yeah.
Considering.
So they were all
it's been
close, yeah.
Several months
Right.
since
So I
these
can,
numbers were
I
given
can
to me.
assume right now they were all over 100,000.
That's it, right?
Yeah. I think that, perfect world, we'd ask for 15 brand new Tahoes, but I know that's not gonna happen. So I'm just hoping that we can get reliable vehicles, and we will go shop to figure out what's the best, only bet to the price, but also what's the best fit for county driving. We've talked before, the cheapest way is to go out and buy brand new Chargers. But you can't have those in the county anymore. And it's not, we got great county roads, but some of these driveways, they are tough and we are hard on them. And they are police cars, so.
We did our best to reach out to all of our vendors, so we believe that, number that we asked for in contracts is true and accurate. Ron did a fantastic job of doing that. So sometimes those contracts are going up. In-house technology is really good once again. Last month, they had another increase, wasn't a huge increase, but only maybe.
And everyone.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're not sure we got the pay. Not another vendor we need to use, so it's $312 a month.
For what is that?
This is, the dedicated line that splits data, transmits data from, bank purchasing and data. And I understand there's a lot of security involved in that, because it's actually information. It's whatever they choose.
How many lines do you have?
It's just.
Just one.
For that, yes.
I think that might also include, being able to tap into the data for it as well. So it's like an agency-wide bill, and they're like, again, just with another increase, no question asked, just here's the pay bill, starts. But in terms of the contracts, that was kind of pretty good. So it's.
Cost of doing business, what we do.
Are you, is the department itself open? And I think you are. I think I'm asking the question with already knowing the answer. That if we do come up with some sort of scenario where we buy 4 vehicles, that over the next couple of years, we can maybe replace 3 and then get down to where we're almost on a cycle.
Depends on how
Keeps
you
it-
want to do it. It all depends on what you guys want to do, either lease or you want to purchase, and then that's what in that plan that the chief put together is, this year buy 4, next year buy 3. Yes.
I came up with a similar kind of thing, just having what you guys had recommended, 20,000 miles, adding to each vehicle in the fleet every year, and rotating, trying to keep it as close to or right at 100 when we turn them over. And if we start rotation, it looks like we can get that job done. It's going to be a bite in the butt to start.
Yeah, I was really a big fan of the lease program that we had, because we knew it comes at, the end of that lease, we could get some money back on the ones that we had. And so we had a head start on paying for the other ones. So I would hope moving forward, we could lease. To me, that's up to you all, but I think it's a good idea. That it's always keeping those guys in a reliable vehicle, and I think it cuts down on our maintenance. And they're all gonna be under warranty almost all the time. So it's just something I think it needs to be looked at going forward. If you don't choose to do that, it's fine. That's just my thoughts.
The only issue is, I think when we talked to Sternberg, which there's other people, was the unlimited mileage. They didn't really like that. It was kind of like something they put in and they don't want that. And it's a
Well,
little
they put in the
different.
first.
Well, I know, but they didn't act like they wanted to do that again. So, and we paid a premium for that, actually. So that's why they were so cheap for us to buy them. At the end of the lease, we could buy each one of them. Some of them had 60, 70,000 miles. We could buy for $3,500. So if we thought, the thought process, or mine anyways, was to get another year or two for $3,500, it was worth it. Plus we still have trade-in value. We still own it, and we have trade-in value going forward. Because some small department's gonna want those with 100,000 miles. They're not bad. So. But I don't know about the unlimited lease mileage. I don't think we can get that again. So my fear is, if we try to go with a lease and they cap us at 20,000, what if you have that officer who's everywhere?
And that's gonna happen.
And they
Because we
make
do have
25 or 30, and then we're gonna pay 50 cents a mile over that. It
And
just
that's
gets
what
out
I
of
would
control.
never do as sheriff. I would never tell my guys not to.
Oh, yeah, I don't want you to do that.
So, yeah.
So that's my only fear, I guess, with the lease.
I think one of the advantageous leases, I guess you guys can put it in like a comprehensive plan, but it's as leadership changes here and leadership changes here, you guys might put together a great plan, but if the next round of leaders don't want
Follow
to,
through.
yeah, they don't want to adopt that too, then that's where we kind of get where.
Yeah.
So, at least, that's where at least is advantageous, but I agree, mileage is it. There's another point that's making, that's a working about this in terms of at least getting better educated on what terms we're holding it on, I guess.
So, I think whether it's lease or buy, I think we're committed and we know that we need to do something and get something started. So
Yeah, but
whether it's within this budget or outside the budget with other monies, I think that's gonna be made a priority. I don't speak for everybody, but I think everybody understands that, so.
Beginning at like 3 or 4.
Yeah, not 10 now. I'm not 10 at once, but.
I would lottery, I would get.
And if you guys,
I appreciate you asking, but.
Trust me. I
We
will
just
give
can't do
to
it,
you if
so.
I win the lottery.
Okay, I'll hold you to it.
well, the guys perceive this, again, we're for right or for wrong, there's a little bit of perception that we're not supporting them enough. And I don't know where it comes from, but I think, again, I'd like to buy some good faith, so to speak, in this regard, because law enforcement is gotta be a priority.
I would appreciate that. I think it's needed.
And I want to say I appreciate you putting together that plan in July and getting it over to us. And I knew we had to kind of wait closer to budget time to see where we were at, what things were going to come in. it doesn't look good, but I know that we have to have those, so like I said, whether it's inside this budget or outside this budget, it'll be made a priority, I think, so. At least that's
If we have a invoice to proceed, gather new quotes, so that we have, newer numbers. I know that when we were talking, Taylor, he said, best thing to also is add 5 to 7% to last year's price, so what the cost was. And but back now, I would think it's been some time, so they should be able to get us something a little more concrete. If the Dodges and the Fords and the Chevys are all running at 3+ figures, maybe getting away from Chrysler just to see what something they might not provide us might not be.
And we're gonna have to change all of the inside anyways, because the body changed. I mean, some of the stuff can still be transferred, right, like some of the regular fans and things, but the cages and stuff like that stuff may not
The
fit.
cages is the biggest thing and the consoles.
So if you're gonna have to change that anyways, because you said from what we have now to the new Dodges, it's not gonna fit. So if you wanna get quotes for Chevys or whatever, see what those are, then that's, yeah, that's what I think.
And it's crazy why they changed the bodies.
You know why.
Yeah, I know why. So, yeah.
And sometimes new brackets can adapt some things. Sometimes they stay, sometimes.
Some.
Always. Sometimes, and sometimes we check it. I don't know why it hurts me.
Other than that,
it's just new brackets.
I don't have anything else. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Good luck.
Good luck to you.
Hey, you said you were gonna dance or something.
No,
I think that's what I heard.
I don't know what, I
You
don't
said
know.
this was your last one, you were gonna do a dance, I thought.
Yeah, no dance.
Little shuffle on the way out the door, just don't wiggle it.
No, there'll be none of that, so thank you guys.
All right, if we have any questions, we'll email you.
You guys have any questions for us?
Well, I mean, I know that the stuff from the lit edit had to move out, so that was like 133,000, so we had to move that around in here. I did have a question about the sex offender registry, so I'm just curious, like, that's a program that an officer or someone has to take care of, right? So someone is maintaining that.
Yes.
And I noticed within there, I'm gonna look at the budget real quick. There was just like some random things like postage or office supplies or whatever, and I was just wondering if this isn't one of those specialized skills that you may wanna give a stipend or something, like, hey, you're taking care of this. This is something above and beyond, this is an extra duty, I don't know, I just was curious.
In some states, in the state police
I think it's a lot, right?
are registered. It is a big deal.
Fortunately, we have a lot.
Yeah. Nikki was a rock star, but after so long, she's getting tired of it. I understand.
I'm sure it's not.
So now it's gonna be splitting up between 2 people. One on days and one on nights, so we required, we meet all the requirements as a sex offender. Like I said, in other states, it's the state police, but unfortunately here, it's us. So it is a big deal. It is a big deal.
Well, I noticed that your budget is less than your revenue, and I don't know what the cash is, but we could look, but I was just thinking to help, I mean, I don't know what you guys are thinking with something like that. I know we've had discussions where if they have special trainings or so they're taking care of something special, there could potentially be a little stipend or something extra for their pay for the year if they're doing that. I personally feel like that might be something that makes them feel more appreciated. And when I look at this, there's a lot of things that are zero still, and you're 8 months into the, well, this was 6 months into the year, right? I think that it's been, so through June, there's several of these things that you had on here, like office supplies, postage, equipment that were, spending money. So I don't want you to just put things that you don't need it, or just, that you wanna think about, you wanna rework that, or how that, what that needs to look like.
Check the statute, see.
I don't know, that would work. You would have to check.
As long as the statute allows it, as long as. Yeah, absolutely, that would be great idea.
I'm just trying to think of things that would,
Outside the box.
I know, well, and I know Tell City does things like that, like they'll have a taser trainer, they give extra, don't quote me, but say 500 or 750, or
They do.
if you're a DRE, you get an extra something, if you're a sex offender person, I would think that would be something, because don't they have to do home visits and go to different things, and Yeah.
It's constant. A little bit with, unknown names or certain provisions that come from court cases and say, well, if it was prior to this date, then it's not applicable for that April. So it's very convoluted.
Do they get called out? I mean, sometimes when they're off, do they have to, if something happens, they have to do a home search or?
I used to get just a lot of phone calls, from guys that were, coming in contact with them saying, hey, this is what I got, is this a violation? So this, coaching through, but,
I don't know. I'm not telling you that you have to, I'm just saying that might be an area. It seemed like that budget was just kind of there. It didn't have a real, I mean, office supplies, postage, you know, it just seemed like maybe it was a struggle to find something, like maybe we could put some of that here, but.
And that computer gets used a lot. So every once in a while we did buy a computer out of there, things like that, so.
I don't know what your balance is, it looks like the revenue's like 2279 and your budget's 1400, so.
Is overtime going to suffer now that we're short on people?
part-time.
Part-time, you guys gave us, the extra money, which is appreciated. We do have maybe 4 deputies or part-time deputies that are police officers somewhere else. 1 in Canton, 3 in Tell City. In this day and age where people they don't wanna work that overtime.
They don't want to go from being a cop.
When they're off, they're off. And then I learned that from him, he said that one time, and I used to say these guys can't believe they're doing it, but I think I've learned when they're off, they want to be off, they don't want to be bothered. So some of the guys will help, but it's, everybody's stepping up, through this bad times. The morale is down a little bit because they're worried about what's gonna happen. But hopefully they'll have a solution for that soon. But I am worried about future law enforcement, kind of here, across everywhere. This job is not what it used to be. But the things that we are seeing, taking home, is not fun, so. Anyway, well, thank you guys.
Thank you. If you have any questions, we'll email you, okay?
Yeah, as much as we can, so we don't absolutely don't. But yeah, there are gonna be some shifts, I already know, but well advanced.
Are you going on the road? Okay.
This is my.
Your desk?
Okay.
I'll just wondering. All right, thank you.
Only if you guys have questions, do it. But, you know.
Appreciate it. Hey, yeah, sorry, I'm sorry, Tracy.
I've been waiting, I needed a little bell that goes ding, ding,
Oh.
ding.
That's fine.
Did he go over? Shame on him.
Okay, next up is Tracy Schroeder, the reporter.
I really don't have a lot to bring, everything is pretty much the same as last year. Yeah, there's like 4 different pages we've got, and everything is basically the same. With the, well, the wages, we've asked for the wages of 2025 plus a 5%. And then on the recorder's perpetuation, that's just our 2 part-time, and we asked for the 5% on it too. And then on the enhanced access.
Yeah.
That's all stayed pretty much the same as before.
And that has $11,000 revenue and $15,000, $16,000.
That's the way they had always done it before. I hate that word, but they've always done it that way before. I just went by what they had done before.
I just noticed that.
I just know that all that comes out is that extra pay, and then we pay one of our quarterly installments for our software. And that's all that comes out of that, usually.
30 feet, what's that?
That is the identification and security protection. And there again, that's another quarterly installment, comes out of that one.
That's weird, that's all down, we had 1,064 requests, but it looks like it did that last year.
It did that last year. We've got,
Quite a bit with them.
there's some built up, yes. But that one is pretty much the only thing we take out of that is that quarterly thing, and it's around $15, I think.
Oh, every quarter, yeah, okay.
Just one quarter a year. You get a quarterly,
Why is it 6,400 request?
like I said, just doing what had always been asked for.
So really you only have one bill, it's like $1,500.
That, as of now, that's
Well,
all
it looks
we
like
take out.
25, it was 1877, it's all you spent.
What
Yeah,
That's so far.
1877, that's a quarter. I don't, I've got some new numbers in my head, but yes, it's around $1,800, one time a year, a quarterly payment comes out.
So you've already done that, so you won't have any more this
You
year.
won't have any more this year.
What do you call a quarter payment, you know, 6 months?
It's, we get it 4 times a year. 2 of them come out of perpetuation, one
Oh.
comes out of identification, security protection, and one comes out of enhanced access. To take relief off of other things.
You go like that?
What? Yeah, there's 4, but it's like one coming out of this.
There's 4 payments, that 2 comes out of one comes out of one, and one comes
So I
out of
only
the
got
other.
6,400.
Does that make sense?
Either.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense, I just don't know why. I know why you did it, because it was last year like that, but if you only need 1877, then that's it.
Then that's, oh, yeah,
Somewhere around there, yeah.
right. And then the other one is the county elected officials training.
Yeah. Now, can you tell me about that? Because I just want to make sure, this is your state call trainings?
Yes,
So this
and
is,
that's for the clerk, the auditor, the treasurer, and the
so
recorder.
these are the ones you have to go to.
These are the, yes,
And you get.
we have to,
First, if you're on the board or something.
okay, I don't have a clue on that one.
Okay.
Don't have a clue on that one. But the only state call meeting is the recorders conference.
I have any questions for Tracy?
On this enhanced access, there's 3 employees listed. Is that just additional income for those 3 employees?
Yes, it's $1, like everybody else has from different,
And the other 2 employees don't qualify?
no, they don't get that, no, because they are strictly the part-time back indexing that comes out of the enhanced access.
It's only the.
And it's only the full-time, yeah.
Deputies or whatever.
Deputies.
That's something that started years ago.
It started years ago, way before my time.
Well, I understood that. I just didn't know why the perpetual employees didn't.
It's because it didn't, they are they're county employees, but they're basically employed through the recorder's perpetuation.
All right.
Is that it?
I think so.
I think we might have you back on schedule.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, we're 2 minutes early. Thank you.
Thank
Or at
you.
the end anyway.
We'll let you know if we have
We
any
got an extra
questions.
hour at the end anyway.
There you go.
Steve Hauser says, my list. It says Highway Steve Hauser. Come on up. It's Steve Howell.
I didn't do that.
I didn't do it, but it's like that.
Steve Collins told me about it.
Oh, no. Well, he's retiring, so maybe he's trying to be, is there something we should know?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Kim Bridge is the first one, you guys got? Move in.
Page 30, is that what it is? Yeah, that's what I got, page 30. Want to do that one?
Changes in that, we raised, on the riprap, $10,000 for what it was last year. Because the stone just keeps going up, and, we can use that also for culverts. Or we use it on culverts, we replace culverts. The culverts, we raised that 70,000. We reduced it in the MVA restricted budget, from 120,000 to 10,000, we raised it in this concrete.
Oh, hold on 1 second. So you took it down 100,000 and went and increased it 70 here, so you're like 30. You just don't need that, you won't need that many or you're good on
Well,
public.
But 200.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
The back culvert's out.
You're pretty hard to follow in these things.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty hard to do.
You said you increased this one by 70, but you decreased the other one by 100 less.
We went from 120,000 to 10,000.
Oh, 10,000 decrease. So we're really like a 40,000 overall decrease on culvert?
But we also got culverts in there.
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
In the concrete, we raised that $10,000. What's the price of concrete? I think it went up higher than the rock had, because of increase in pricing.
Same thing with steel?
Yes.
Have you bid that out or, I mean, your rock?
Yeah, we take bids on it every year.
Okay. I just wondered, because somebody was asking me about some quarry and they only were selling. I don't know.
Yeah, they usually, far away.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I've got local road and street there.
Well, that is 39, I think.
Okay, we didn't. Equipment, we had 70,000 in there. For each part of that's gonna pay for truck bed, and I'll go over different route in the truck. I think we're gonna try to do a lease program on the trucks, where we pay for it over probably 5 years, or 3 or 5 years. No, David told me one time when we paid our last lease off, he said, I hope you guys never do another lease. We tried to stick to that, it's been several years. I thought it had to work out for it. And he told me that, and I told him that.
Okay, so the equipment, so you won't need this 70,000 or
We're
you're
gonna need some money for equipment. We won't need much, we won't have to have much. We
Can
had
you give us a
to
better
figure
idea of what you might?
probably 40,000 in that.
The only reason I say that is this is one of those funds where I see the revenue is 346 and the budget's 420, so don't really.
Yeah, our
Care
cash
for that.
balance in there is 594,719. We're expected income is 354,357, so we should have, in the year, we should have $949,076. Your paper don't show cash balance.
Is that somewhere you can get your equipment leased from?
Possibility.
You're gonna have,
We use a little bit of that by stone, some of that by stone, but
you don't want to stamp on the gravel.
no, we don't.
We need it.
We got about 20,000 for stone this year, but we don't do anything around.
And I know we gotta get ready for winter and everything. Make sure all the roads have plenty. Okay, so is that on this one?
Restricted is next.
43? Okay, page 43.
Okay, we were figuring 20% of the administration being foreman and the operations manager at 20% restricted. The restricted is really complicated because we have codes and we have to, certain things will qualify for restriction, certain things won't. Spreading gravel on the road is not, that's not considered preservation. I don't know why, but it's not considered, but using rock on shoulders and soft spots and dig outs, stuff like that is. Like, it's kind of complicated.
And I know you usually do 50-50, right?
Yes.
Okay, and I know there was, in our audit, they told us, if I understood them right, if I didn't, correct me, that what I understood them to say is we really need to try to move all of our salaries and wages and benefits over to unrestricted and all the road things and maintenance for the roads or whatever, all the stuff that you need to restrict it.
Do quite a bit more paving than we do, and they, a lot of, some counties have their own chip and seal where they got more chance to take money out of restricted. We have to spend that 50% restricted. If we do that, we're not gonna have enough money in the DH to operate. We have to take money out of for payroll. And I talked to the state auditor, that Andy, that was boss of the students here. After, I didn't know about the audit when they was doing that, so I wasn't there, but I talked to him the next day and showed him our software program and all that, and he said, if you're using that money for a project, it's fine to take it out, take payroll out of that as long as it's a project. So I showed him our software and how we log everything on their computers. And so like he said, well, that's a project on, you know, what you guys are doing is a project on each culvert and all that. So he said it was okay to do that as long as we had it under a project.
So you think if you put all your salaries, wages and benefits in unrestricted, you wouldn't have enough money to pay it off?
Or the salary and everything's a big chunk of money.
And it has to be 50-50. Has to be split like that?
What we
I know
did,
you do that, but does it have to be that?
it works out for us when each payroll, I have to put in everybody, you know, it's on software program. I have to go through that and pick out everything that's a restricted code and figure out the time on that, and everything that's unrestricted is a different one. So we do two payrolls, basically, what we do each time, one restricted and one unrestricted. And there's certain things that you can take out restricted and certain things you can't.
Seems like a lot more work on you.
It is a lot,
To do it that way.
a lot more work on us.
So you wouldn't like it better if it was all over
Yeah, I
here?
would love it, but we can't get by.
And why again?
Well, we won't have enough money to MVH, we won't be able to spend our 50% restricted, and we won't have enough money in the MVH to pay all that, and there are other expenses that we pay all that, you know, stuff we can't take out restricted. We ain't gonna, it's not enough money to do that.
So it's just like red tape that keeps
Yeah.
you from.
Yeah, it's a real pain, it doubled the length of time it takes us to do payroll when we had to go to this restricted. And I've talked to other counties around, most of the surrounding counties, and they do the same thing. The only county that I've talked to that don't do it is a big county that does a lot of paving, has their own chip and seal crew, and
I'm sure we can find some more paving to do.
if we had the money to do it, you know.
Did you say we would have plenty of money in that restricted to do more?
Well, we would have more money in there, but we wouldn't have enough for the MVH to.
In the unrestricted to pay the salaries?
And the other expenses we have in there, things that don't qualify for restricted.
And some of that local road and street stuff or one of these other things couldn't be shifted to the restricted fund and free up money somewhere else to help with the.
Well, if you put money in restricted, you can't take it back out, it's there.
Yeah.
You have to spend 50% of what you were given. It's really complicated to try to figure all this out, and it's a mess. Like I said, it doubles the time it takes us to do payroll anymore.
I would think this would be easier, but
It would be easier if we could operate that way, we wouldn't be able to operate. We wouldn't have enough money. We wouldn't spend all the
how much do you
restricted.
think you would be short?
I don't know, I figure it'd be a good chunk of money out there. But other counties do this, and that, auditor, that Andy, after I showed him that, he said, yeah, as long as you got in projects, which our software does that, he said, it's fine to take payroll out of restricted.
Just trying to help ease your burdens here. That
Yeah,
seems
I
like a
think-
lot of problems.
It
And a
is,
lot of extra headache.
it is a lot of headaches.
And I don't wanna get another audit money for that. Actually, it wasn't on us, but you know, I mean, the
Right.
county.
Yeah.
Okay. I tried, I don't know.
Okay. What was that?
Sorry, restricted, so
Yeah, truck drivers and operators, we put 50% in there. For the workers, of course, mechanics, that's all out of the MVA.
got more stone here.
Stone, yeah, state board of accounts allows us to pay for stone, for soft spots and shoulders. That's the reason we put that in there.
So the culverts decreased by 70.
In one, but it didn't raise in the other, or went, it just went from one to the other. We can buy more culverts, we can buy culverts out of restricted. That's a code that is okay, you know, it's allowed and restricted.
So you were talking about on the King Bridge, you had culverts. Last year it was 80, and 120.
I think we got another place.
And then you have culverts in more vehicle restricted. It went from 120 to 10. That's a decrease of 70,000.
Yeah.
Is that what
We
you're
just
saying?
moved it around, yeah.
It's not the same.
Are you saying you have that somewhere else?
Are there
70
another one somewhere else?
He says there's 70 somewhere else, okay.
Okay.
So can you tell me one more time about the restricted, you can't use stone, just gravel roads?
Stone to put it on, spread on a gravel road is not allowed to be taken out restricted. But if we're fixing a soft spot in the road, or putting shoulders down.
You say whole road soft?
that-
Because there's some of those.
yeah,
I mean, there's some roads that are soft. You know, after the winter. You know.
That's one, that Andy told me.
Okay, go ahead, sorry. Oh, fuel and oil, 200,000 down zero.
Yeah, we're not taking.
Are we running
In
on?
order to take fuel and oil out of restricted, you have to, they might grade, when they're grading, they might grade 10 roads a day. And he said you have to figure how many gallons of fuel you use on each road. There's no way we can, I mean, you don't know how many gallons an hour it burns, for sure, each piece of equipment is different, and he said you need, for each road, you would have to know the amount of fuel that you burned on that road.
Are we running on water this year? Did you move it somewhere
I'll
else, I
move it
guess?
somewhere else,
It's a lot of, it's a big decrease.
yeah. That's the reason why, because of that.
Yeah. But you've always used it in there, but they never said anything until this year.
No, it's a whole different world this year. That one guy, we talked to Andy, and he explained some of this to him, he said, it's okay to, what we were doing.
Okay.
It's just gonna be too much paperwork to try to figure out, you know, if they grade 7, 10 roads a day, how many gallons of fuel? We can't hardly keep up now with paperwork.
It doesn't seem very efficient. Anything else on the restricted?
Road signs, reduced that, we're not expecting to have to upgrade the bridge sign this year, but if that happens, I'll just have to come back and we don't expect that to happen like it has the last 3 years. I know a bunch of new signs that have to be put up.
And this, bituminous, 200,000 to 500,000? All right.
For
It says 500 on mine. I have 200,000, was last year's total budget, or this year's total budget, 500 for next year, is that wrong?
I said 400,000.
Tell me what page you want.
I mean, am I on the wrong thing on restricted?
That's it.
I don't know.
What page are we on?
43.
Who changed it? I like your number better. 43, it's bituminous and it went from 200,000 to 500, so I was gonna ask about that. But he only has 400 on his. What's your total? What's your total request at the bottom? You have that? 1.3 million?
No, I don't have that.
It's okay. We're gonna check that, 'cause we have culverts 10,000, stone 70.
Is that other 70 stone? Other 70 of culvert?
No, what is this, bituminous,
Is that-
300,000 increase? Is that
Oh, that's,
for 200,000, whatever you?
that was to use it to try to do some extra paving, and we also extra paving, and, if we could, and then we didn't know about community crossing matches. You know, you gotta guess about all that, so we try to have some money.
So that other 70,000, is that listed as stone then? I'm going back to the culverts, I'm trying to come up here.
So
They're the same.
unless
That
it's,
that was added this year, that wasn't in there last year.
So it's not for culverts.
For stone. 70,000 stone wasn't in last year, and this wasn't in
Right.
this budget last year.
So where's your other 70,000 for culverts? But I'm not seeing it.
unless it's not under something,
Also might be a survey on
In
that.
the few bridge you raised to 70,000,
Page 58.
Culvert,
yes.
but it's an overall decrease.
but overall. You said, I thought you said it remained the same. Because
No, not culverts. Reduced the MVA restricted from 120,000 to 10,000, then we.
so overall it's 70,000 less.
It's 110.
Because
Yeah.
last year was 200 and now it's only 130 when you combine all for culverts. That's the same
Last
problem.
year in Q Bridge was 80,000, this year it's 150,000.
150.
Yeah.
Make sure.
Increase.
I thought it was 120.
Cambridge.
We have wrong sheets. Did you update your sheets? Seems like you might have different numbers than we do.
No, it's 120. That's why I can't come up with that earlier when you said that.
What's 120?
You're a culvert.
Q Bridge,
You have a different sheet, okay?
It's 150 in culverts.
yeah, that's what I got.
On page 30.
Here's what we got. 120.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got something
Something
wrong.
right.
Our sheets are wrong, I think. And that's why mine says 5.
That's why when you said it earlier, you said it's 150. I was like, no, it's not. It's 120.
Okay, well, I don't know. We need to get new sheets for the highway, I think.
Something wrong.
Updated ones, because I don't know. This is what we were given, so it's not right. We need to make it right.
This is what we spent. What I've got.
I have a question.
Well, I don't know how to
too
take
here.
it, so
In
I just
the
got this printed sheet.
MVH restricted, I know you moved fuel and oil, but year to date, you're at, well, through June was 92,000. So you're sitting less than 200,000 for the year. If you annualize that, I see an additional 100,000 in unrestricted for fuel listed this year. You haven't spent any of that. But you budgeted for 300,000. So you budgeted for 2 times about what it looks like you're gonna spend this year and in previous years. So is 300,000 a necessity? And we're pinching pennies here, so I'm just grasping at straws trying to. 300,000 seems like a lot, but usually spending much less, you're spending under 200,000. So you're expecting your fuel prices to go up, or?
Well, that's something we just have to guess at every year.
No, I mean, I know you budgeted for 300,000 this year, it's just a different budget, you're not gonna spend it, so I'm just.
Now, maybe we'll get on some less than
These are all your pages, but these are just the updated revenue. I didn't change anything on the.
Culver's here has 150.
How big is the difference?
120.
Okay, thank you. I mean, let me look real quick here.
Because this says 150 on this.
30, hold on 1 second, make sure.
Which I know Marilyn did an adjustment.
Oh, yeah,
She did
this, no,
some
this is,
changes.
no, these are different. Oh my God, and I put my extra sheets in here, look, the revenues even different.
Well, that's 2025 revenue, because I didn't have 2026 revenue.
Did you already give me these sheets?
Hadn't updated the revenue when we did those.
Well, this has the right number.
Okay.
Let's see, 150 on your Cume Bridge for culverts.
I just want to make sure I have the right thing.
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what was that other thing we were talking about? You had something different, 500,000 by 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me look at it real quick. I'll pay you that. I wanna make sure these are what you have, okay? So I wanna work on the same thing you have. What page is that? That one with the bike. Oh, you don't have, do you? Okay, sorry, that's okay. 43?
43.
Is it 43?
43, yeah, 500,000.
You have 400 though. I have 500.
I have 500.
That's 400,000.
I have 500.
This new one has 500.
And then an unrestricted, an additional 50,000. For budgets.
And what do you have, Steve?
Unrestricted?
Yep.
Yeah.
For by two, there you go.
Oh, there's no change for this.
We have 50,000 when you got, it went from 200 down to 50. Motor vehicle highway unrestricted.
I have 50,000.
Okay, from 200 down to 50.
Yes. That's because we put more in the restricted.
But you didn't put 500.
No.
Okay. I guess we need to get that updated.
Met transfer sheets, yeah, I don't know. That's what I got, that's the last, that's what's entered in DLGF.
Make a note, but you only want 400.
Okay.
Is that all right? You think yours is right? Yes. Okay.
It's all right, won't be thin too much.
Huh?
It's all right, it won't be thin too much.
Well, we're going in the right direction.
Yeah. That's exactly.
You got any more of those? By chance?
I don't even remember where we're at.
Okay, sorry. No, either.
Hit the road signs.
You're on. So, are you done with restricted?
I think that's it for restricted.
And your group insurance went down?
Yeah.
See, this is the only thing with this, is that we were told we can't take that out, like you said, but we didn't know. And so if you have money left over in there, I guess does it just stay in insurance restricted and
It stays in their cash balance. It doesn't, the line items appropriations
just
don't
budget
stay.
less the next year because you may not need it, or is
That's what you told me.
that okay?
If we need more, we'll come back and get it or transfer.
I would rather that than not have a big overabundance of money there. I know insurance is difficult, but if you never know, when you have a lot of people that you're gonna hire, you don't know if they're gonna want insurance or not, so.
Yes. Hey, motor vehicle highway should be next.
Unrestricted,
Yes.
okay.
Motor vehicle, we reduced it 30,000
Which one was it?
Showing right now.
Oh, yep, I see it.
By tunes, we reduced that 150,000 and added it to the restricted budget.
Okay.
Then we go down to tires, next page, we increased that $5,000 because the tires just keep going up.
Let me look,
There's time.
not see it.
Down toward the bottom. On my page.
What page is that? Top 46.
Oh, you look at the whole other page. Okay, so you increased tires 5,000?
Yeah. The prices really went up on current tires.
I know sheriff's did the same
Okay.
thing.
Oh, there's your fuel and oil for 200,000.
That's supposed to be looking from restricted.
What's maintenance, 5,000 or? Nope, nope, I mean, repairs, building and fixtures. That wrong? Bigger
Well-
problem?
Last month we had to replace the sewage pump and whatever. The utilities have went up and the building's 20-some years old now. And we have to replace doors on the other side once in a while and more on.
At some point, if it's like an extensive repair, we do have a building.
Yeah.
Repair.
Yeah, they paid for the
No, it's a larger
AC unit next door.
Yeah.
EMS.
You need a roof or you need, you know,
Right.
something.
We've been lucky with the roof so far. I mean, I know we're building.
New road equipment, 50,000? Increase, what's that?
Well, we try to have 100,000 or so a year for road equipment. We're kind of, this year was wanting to buy a truck, but that ain't gonna work out, so we ain't gonna have as much as what we had put in the budget, but we're still gonna need. Right now, we got 3 pickups that's quit on us this summer. They're parked or junk. In the process of buying a used one now, and our excavator, and then the motor went out of bed. And, we're looking at buying an excavator. We can trade those in. One place offered us 5,000 on trade, and another place offered us 12,000 on trade. And it's the same brand we've got for all our buckets and our attachments to work on it. So it's gonna be under $50,000, but I need to replace that excavator. You know, they're wanting 20-some thousand to replace the engine in, so if you can get some brand new machine with warranty, and it'll be a little bit bigger machine, more horsepower. You know, it just makes sense to me.
And the other 100,000 for trucks?
Yeah.
Like just work trucks, like?
Well, we need to replace some pickups, and we've got a lot of old tractors, and we try to buy used tractors if we find a deal on for all the emissions stuff on them. And, we've got 8,000 hours on some of the tractors and more, so,
I need to get you on a rotation.
yeah,
And a plan.
I agree.
I think we need to be, after budget's over,
Okay.
to discuss that.
All right. So I guess we'll have to buy an excavator. We use it every day. But,
And it's just totally broken.
well, they said the engine shot in. They said the injectors went bad, and this rail system they got on now, they don't smoke. So you're washing down cylinder walls, and there's no smoke or nothing to indicate there's a problem until it's messed up the engine.
Who does it make? Yourself?
We had old equipment we got the injectors, we bought the injectors, and we bought injectors from them. And then, it was stuck out on the road, out in the edge of one of our narrow gravel roads. We called them out there to put the injectors in, and they said that wasn't the problem. They hauled it to their shop and checked it, and they said two of the 3 cylinder walls were washed down, and they have to have a new engine. Replacing the engine was around $20,000.
So how many hours on there?
3,600.
So that means you got a lot of wear on the rest of the machine, so you get a new machine.
That seemed to me like it was kind of low hours on it, for a diesel engine to go out.
No kidding.
I expected better than that, but that ain't what happened.
And those 3 trucks that you have that are junk, you said, are they gonna be surplus? We need to probably get rid of those, because we don't need to pay
Yeah.
license and insurance and all that.
But
They're
I
just
think I
sitting.
took the insurance off of them,
Okay.
but, the one we couldn't use anymore, I dropped the insurance. But, we need,
Yeah, commissioners and surplus, that stuff. Moving on.
and the telephone, the price is up on that some, so we raised that, $500.
Is that-
So, down,
Oh,
below the tower.
I see it, okay.
Yeah.
That's your landline?
Mhm.
4,500 dollars a year.
Well, that's, that's,
That seems like a lot.
seems like a lot to me too.
For one, just for the highways?
Well, that's for the, yeah. I wouldn't call it.
Or internet
Well,
too,
we've
or
got one,
$400
yeah,
a
we've got
month?
internet.
It's phone and internet.
That's EMS
That's their phone
side
and
too.
internet.
They've got,
So you have 2 phones?
we've got, 5 phones. EMS got at least 1, maybe 2, I'm not sure how many they have.
Kelly, did you hear phone and internet?
It is your internet too?
I assume it is. Yeah, it would be.
Chris said,
I'll look how many lines they have out there. I can email you that.
We'll just make sure it's your internet, because if it's not, it seems like it's really high.
Yeah,
PSC, they bill phone and internet together. Remember, we combined the general funds too.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, just look into it, maybe we'll see.
and, repair the building fixtures. We raised that 5,000. Like I said, we had to put a new suite up in last month. Software maintenance price, raised that 500, it price increased on that, that's our, we can hook to the trucks and equipment to diagnose problems with them, the codes and see what's there with them. If we don't have that, we can't fix anything more than that stuff anymore.
So your mechanics use that?
Yeah.
Do they use it quite often?
Yeah, they use it a lot,
So-
and probably most every day.
Oh, okay.
We got them for Kenworth, we got them for Caterpillar and International, I mean, we've got different brands, we have to have different programs for them.
And that is going up, you're not just guessing, they told you it's going up.
New road equipment, raised that 50,000 in this, and that's help pay for truck sales.
You're not getting.
No,
So you want me to decrease that 50,000, or you're gonna use it for this?
I'd like to have 100,000 in new equipment for next year.
I mean,
We've got enough this year.
You got your 50.
Got enough to pay for that excavator. And we're buying pickup on the excavator. And we need the.
You think 100 would be enough?
Huh?
You have 150 here, but you think 100 would be enough?
Yeah.
And I'd be able to get your excavator too?
We've got the money now. We already got money this year to pay for that excavator.
So that's coming out of 25 budget, not 26.
What's on good next?
58.
Fine-tune this, we reduced it because we increased it in NBA. We reduced it 150,000 in there. So we put it in the budget. And new road equipment. And 150,000 there. We increased it 150,000, that was when we thought we'd come by. When we did these budgets, we.
Okay, you don't think you're gonna buy trucks, or we just haven't got that worked out yet? Like on lease
Or a lease, and I can't get them this year. I mean, I can get the trucks this year, but I can't get the beds this year. So I'm just gonna work on the lease.
for the future.
Yeah,
So we can reduce this?
you can reduce it, yeah.
Will your trucks, will they be for another year?
No. We'll have to make them. We can't buy new ones. I mean, we can't. If we had the
Buy it, but
money,
you need the bids, right?
if we had the money laying there, we can't get the truck for this winter. We're talking about January before they can get truck beds on. Or after January before they can get the beds on and back in that.
So you're just having to do with what you
We're
have.
gonna have to make do what we got.
So you want us to reduce this back down from 200 to 50? I mean, I'm just asking.
We don't have any others, I've lost track now.
You went from, on your equipment,
We took it down to,
you went from, you had it at 150, but you took it down to 100. So you'll have 100,000 for equipment. And then whatever you want here, you know, you had 50 this year.
50,000.
Okay.
We hope we don't have to buy too many engines this year, this winter.
Is it possible to look at it instead of a lease, like a buy, like we could buy it, but on a payment plan, like on a finance it?
Yeah, that's possible.
Because we can go through the bond bank or whatever and see what they can do, because they have better rates than regular banks for government.
You guys know anything about Sourcewell?
I think Eric was looking into it, actually.
Well,
He
the
probably
county
knows.
has a Sourcewell account and it eliminates the bidding process. It saves a lot of time and a lot of, paperwork. They're a national thing. They're out of Minnesota, I think, but it's a national thing. And all these bids, I just got 4 bids for this excavator and every one of them had Sourcewell on there. The trucks, they wanted to use Sourcewell, but, been told that it might not be.
That's where I heard it. It wasn't Eric, I think it was Randy who looked into it.
Yeah.
And the attorney said, or somebody told him, you
Yeah.
can't do that, it will be like a workaround. So.
And they said if the attorney would go up and paper saying that he thought it was okay, that it'd be okay, but that we're in the process of talking to them about that. It eliminates, if you use Sourcewell, it eliminates the bidding process. They get you a good price. They get you usually a discounted price for government agencies. Something I think we need.
Isn't that kind of like it's called the bond bank or whatever, they do that, they do that also. They send out like 12
See,
different.
I don't know anything about that.
I'll get you some information, because I think they do, they help local units of government,
Yeah.
or you just fill out what you want, and then they send it out to like 12 or 15 different places for.
That sounds like pretty much the same.
Might just be the banks though, that might be sent out, I'm not sure, I'll get you some information.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's, bond bank is,
It might be the banks.
it's just the money.
But he still needs that, if he's wanting to look at financing instead of a lease, we could look at financing and just see what they have and what rates
Yeah.
they're offering and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be.
You're right, yeah, I don't think it's. Okay, what's your next one, 61?
Local road street.
Oh, we already got it. Oh, we already got that.
I will try to get that.
Oh, no. I think we're doing lit edit highway project stuff. All right? 640, that's the commissioners, they put that in the edit, so you know what that is? County road improvement, 640,000.
That was, help finance, wasn't
Yes.
Okay.
it? They were help pay, or some of the match from the community cross.
Okay, and since we have that wheel tax and it's been in place for so long, you know how that works, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna give you so much of your lane miles, or you have to apply for that. I think you just get a disbursement if you have it, but then it takes away from your $1 million. If you were awarded $1 million, it's gonna reduce that, I think.
I didn't know how that's gonna work.
I think,
That's what I understood it.
yeah, so if you get 250,000, or let's just say, let's say 500,000 lane miles, and you won $1 million, you were awarded $1 million, you're only gonna get 500,000, so total you're only gonna get $1 million. Plus your, so really,
They just keep lowering that community cross. Changing it.
well, it was $1 million for a long time, but then it went to $1.5 million, we were happy about that. Okay, that's your last one?
I think so.
Okay.
That was easy.
I didn't see that part.
Sorry.
No, you got, it's not you guys, it's just, they restricted, it's something else, what to deal with, it's really a thing.
You didn't know you'd have to be an accountant someday, though.
So, and I'm not smart enough to be an accountant.
What was the first thing?
Doing pretty good, Steve. Pretty good.
Well, I think what they wanted, they want more money spent on paving roads and it's,
Well, that's a good idea.
but they, we went to the meeting when they started in Washington. And the state board of council was there and they couldn't even answer some of the questions of what you could take it out of. So everybody you talk to with the state board of council or with any of the government agencies, federal highways, they got different ideas. Well, this is okay, this ain't, and the next one say, no, that's okay, this one, it's aggravating to deal with because.
There's no set opinion, everybody's different.
Well, everybody's got their own opinion about it. That's like the auditor this year, that. And after I explained it to him and he said, well, yeah, if you've got projects in that software system, that's okay to do it that way.
It says not present a payroll, a problem with our payroll here, though. with
But
Kelly.
that's the whole thing. I don't know when this conversation was had, but it's in our management report. So,
Can you get it in writing?
yeah, we gotta get something because I don't know when you talked with Andy, but when we had our exit interview, this is what they said, and that's the final. Well, that's the whole thing, it's a conversation, we have to have documentation, because it's in our management report from the auditors, that this is a management letter, which gives you till the end of the year to correct it, or it's gonna be a finding next year. That's all, so conversations after the management letter, unless they're documented, really don't mean anything, because it's in the management letter.
I didn't wanna say this, but the other auditor told me, he said, there's nobody can comply with this. He said, this is off the record, nobody can comply with it. He said, doing all this paperwork, he wasn't talking about payroll, he was talking about the other thing. He said, the state of the learning experience, you don't have to do paperwork. But we did the paperwork and showed it to him, showed it to the other guy, he was good with it.
When was that? Was that
That was right after the audit.
Right after the exit?
Because I didn't know anything about the exit thing.
But see, all that, they should have been looking at that during the audit, because that doesn't make any sense, because that's when they're reviewing everything.
He said, I'll talk to, Andy is the one that's right there. He said, I'll talk to John. He said, I don't know why he took exception to this. He said,
Because it's in our, it's in
He said,
our,
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
it's in our, because we originally, during, it spoke, I know Kelly Wilgus and I during it, because this was under the highway. When he reviewed it with me the day of, prior to the exit, we had thought, this is odd, because we knew the highway had, software and kept all this in mind, and we thought, well, maybe we're using the wrong codes on payroll. Maybe there's a code mix-up that works with that. We were planning on getting with you, figuring that, but then they told us, you're making more work for yourself, and it's harder to do the restricted and the unrestricted, which is a lot of work on you, and it's a lot of work on the auditor's office, that if you would pay all of your payroll and benefits out of unrestricted and everything else out of unrestricted, then that clears a lot of that up. Now, I'm not gonna make a comment as to what was said after the fact, because I had some off the record comments too. So, that were made to me, and I think in the exit interview as well. So, we're supposed to be using restricted.
We don't take payroll out of there, we can't operate it, I don't know how we can do it.
As far as operate, I don't understand what you mean by operate,
We have to
because,
spend that restricted money, we have to spend that, and we won't have enough
right,
bills to spend that, and we were out of money in NBA, because all the payroll's coming out there.
So what you're saying is your payroll is a little higher than 50%, and so you can't take it out of, that's what you're saying.
they're saying that you're supposed to be spending the restricted, the way I understand it, this is all maybe, you're supposed to be spending the restricted on roads, or on preservation, construction, and reconstruction of the road.
And if you put it in a project, it applies.
And why didn't it pass in our office?
Because they first audited in under, he didn't, that software paperwork that we brought in and gave to him. Remember that big stack of papers I brought in? I gave to him, and he went through it and said everything fine.
But that was after, that was the day after the
That was
exit,
before the exit.
before the exit. I'm good, all I know,
All the counties around do the same thing we're doing. I don't know how to run it.
all of
We
them
don't
do
do it.
this.
If you can just get, maybe, if you have an email or something, you can just get him to send you something in writing, so that, because I don't want you to have another finding next year if they say, well, you didn't do clear this up or whatever we said you're supposed to do.
If we can get it writing that Vicky says it's okay, then that's different, but we can't go by words, because that can be documented.
If you need his email. Any questions for Steve? We'll let you know if we have more questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Ms. Jones.
Sorry, we're behind.
Well, in an effort to catch you up, we'll just say you're gonna prove everything.
Is that what it is?
See ya.
Okay. Are you gonna do a dance? Remember, you said Alan, if we asked Alan, he said he was gonna do a dance, but he didn't.
That's the Kiss Swan song.
He told me about it. I thought he was going to.
I have no idea what you want from me, what you need from me.
Okay. You have a few pages, okay, so you have page 1 is the clerk. You have your book up. It is. So, let's go down through here and see what you're asking. I noticed the clerical is back. Is that
It is,
part-time
and I
person?
will tell you, I've been giving it a lot of thought.
Yes.
And I don't wanna do away with it because I don't know what next year with a primary and a full-blown election, what that's gonna do to me, because I'm already spending quite a bit of time just on this little referendum. I know I'm new and I'm just learning, but, so I don't wanna get rid of it. However, I think we could probably put, right now it's split 50-50 between general fund and the perpetuation fund. I think we could make that 25 and 75, and I could justify that would come out of perpetuation fund, because we have a healthy balance there. It's pretty restricted what folks can use. But I think we could, and that way that would reduce, take another,
So you can make it 25, 75.
it'd take another 6,000 out of the general. I hate giving it up because I just don't know yet. I'm trying to put off on it. If we don't need somebody, I certainly won't bring somebody in. But I hate to say, no, we're fine, because I'm still.
You don't know what you don't know.
I don't, thank you.
Your warrants are down a little bit, your office supplies are up a little bit,
Yeah.
paper down a little bit. Postage, you can leave the same as this year with no election.
This year, our postage, we're already at 10,097. June, so I'm trying to put some postage into the election, but I will tell you, because they, I'm asking what the bill was, but they adopted a bill where now the BMV, everybody that comes in is being asked, I am processing
Voter registration.
50 to 75 a day.
New voter
Because I'm still
registration.
trying to catch up.
Okay, so you have to
Too.
stack that for something.
Oh, yes, I have a stack of this big that I have processed myself, and I've still got, I know I have at least 400 in the hoppers, and I probably have 25 on my desk.
That's a lot.
Yes,
That's amazing.
How far back does it go? I wonder.
June, because that's when they, July 1st is when they adopted this bill.
Okay.
It's being.
I mean, I think it's a good thing, but
It's a good thing, and I'm getting better at it. I feel like, but it's taking quite a
Or your
time.
50 days.
In fact, the Spencer County election lady is coming tomorrow to help with some questions. If you see them start to close those hallway doors, all that, it's like in South.
Okay.
So we can't get back in once they close them. Well, I mean, you can get in there, because Kelly had to one time.
I think it takes a while to process one.
It does, it depends.
If it's just an address change or if it's a full reg.
Exactly.
So some of those are not really new. They might just be a modification if somebody
Exactly.
moved or something.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes more
But
sense.
there's quite a few that require mailings.
Yeah.
Because we're mailing new folders.
And you gotta verify that they live there.
Yes, and, it all just takes some time. I don't know if that will even out or if it's gonna stay that way.
You know, at one time, the state was doing something with warrants where you're supposed to audit or something, you wouldn't need checks and stuff. They didn't have to do it.
Not to my knowledge.
I know that's back in the regulatory. I guess it never did happen.
And then you have travel 500. Is there somewhere you need to go for travel?
Well, in 20,
See, none for 25, but then.
right. Well, and I really need a lesson on what all goes into that. I don't know, but I mean, like,
The state called meetings you're included, I think, in the, you have a county elected official, isn't she in there?
like the Southern District, Clerks Conference is next week.
Yep.
So is that in the,
Hold on.
is that anything this budget, that
Anything that you're going for your elected official.
You're okay, no, it's okay.
No, anything that you are going for your elected official position, so if you're going to your district meetings, if you're going to your clerk's conference, anything like that, you can pay that out of the county elected officials training.
okay,
Because those are for your elected officials things.
So it's not just for state calls? Okay, you have 1,500, or
So anything that has to do with your county elected official
actually you have
training.
1,500 in there this year. Did you know? It's been 369, some I did.
Well,
Oh, sorry, or you or.
in December, I will have the election.
Yeah.
What looks like, as of June, there was 369 spent, but you had 1,500 here for this year. So,
You won't come close to spending that because of the conference in December.
okay. So if you get that 1,500 again for next year in this, you may not need this 500 or
But in 23, 24, they did say that.
they did?
Huh?
I know,
So I
but,
don't know what-
I know, but do they not have this, you know?
And I'll be honest with you, this kind of over the last couple of years. Everything.
Okay,
I'm being honest.
that's okay. Well, I just
Maybe
think,
if something still happened at the end of this year, that you'll be spending.
You know, I can't imagine that anything that, other than this conference next week and the conference in December.
Oh,
so
maybe,
you're saying that might be.
maybe because it's a,
That's good.
Okay,
maybe because it's a non-election year or something.
okay. The rest of this is just salary increase, I think.
Yes.
And then 14 is the next page, looks like. Okay. What is that? 14 is county election board. Can we do that one? Will you put that one together? 14, county election board. Okay. Okay.
And it's not this, yes, it's.
Okay. Absentee voter board. Can you tell me what that is?
There are absent voter board members and they get paid, but I also think this is they get a per diem. And I think this includes their travel, their per diem, everything. Like this year, we're trying not to use them at all for counter-equity because if we call them in and they have one voter that they go to, they get paid for the entire day. So
Are you gonna have early voting?
one day, we only are required to have one.
Is it gonna be here?
Yes. Yes. October 31st.
So that'll all be advertised and put out.
I hope so.
Maybe you can get with the news.
I've already contacted them and I've contacted the superintendent.
Since it's an off election year, it's
Yes.
just, people need to know that there's something to vote on, because it's a
Yeah.
pretty important thing.
It's very important.
And then you have election board, salaries. Of course, we cut that down to 25.5 because there's really no big election.
Yeah, there's no primary or anything.
Yeah. Precinct board member?
I just went off in 2024. I really don't understand what all is in there. And so I will work on that.
Okay, yeah, that's okay, if you don't mind. Just, I just like to know what that absentee voter and what that precinct for. I mean, it looks like you had to have them in 24 and years prior when there are elections, but I just like to know what those are.
If you look at 23, seems a city election.
And so it was less,
down
it was
because
less,
the city
yeah.
pays for that.
So with the countywide, it looks like it's more.
Yeah.
But precinct board member, what is that?
She's gonna,
I'm not
she'll
sure.
find out.
I'm gonna.
I should know that though.
Okay. Election support, what's that?
That has to do with, what was that? I did look that up at one time before I put this together.
election support.
It has something to do with microvote, between software maintenance and election support that takes care of microvote. And they sent me their best estimate, and that's why I raised the software maintenance, because they're raising.
And then postage just more, because we'll have a primary and a.
Right.
We have 600 there, not used this year for election board, so if you have an election board thing, you might be able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Software maintenance, you said, it's gonna be 15,000.
That's what they told me, yes.
What's voting system support from 4,000 to 20,000?
Well, in 24, it was 18,441. Actually, in 23, it was 31,000, but I think it has something, it has, the poll pads and maintenance on those, and if we have to upgrade any or replace any. The big charge of year.
So we're like renting them?
Yeah. Renting or leasing, I'm not sure. I would say renting.
Can you get some more information on that, just if you don't mind? Got publications, 100. And this meals, so this is. You have to
Meals
pay the
are for
workers,
the
or,
workers.
and you don't actually provide a meal, you just give them a stipend, or what?
No.
You actually do bring in a meal?
Yeah.
They can't leave.
Okay, so you have, so
Yeah.
you bring them in something to eat?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah. They're given a choice.
okay.
I'm not sure where all they used.
But I mean, do you have to bring it to them, or they call, I mean?
They usually have catered in, somebody
Okay.
brings it, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I mean, it's common sense, the guy's gotta be there from start to finish.
Right.
Yeah, I just didn't know if they brought their lunch or what.
No. Well, some of them do because,
Some are diabetic.
yeah, they have special needs.
Okay. All right, 33. If we can move to 33, that is, unless anybody has questions about that. It is clerk's record perpetuation,
Yes.
and this is where you put that part-time person in again. For the
Yeah,
other
I
half.
think we could raise that up to 75%, the total is 50%.
Yes,
The only thing that might have to come back with that, honestly, is we are starting to have some issues with our scanners, trying to revive with them. But if computers, scanners and printers, I have that, I would take out of the perpetuation.
Okay. So you just,
And we do have a healthy balance.
yeah, this your part-time person went away, and
Right.
that helped too.
Yes.
Now, I do have a question. Is there any of your full-time people that they do work for this, under this perpetuation in their daily duties, that some of their salary could come off the general fund here? Because that was my whole reason for not replacing that person is to help, we might need some help off the general too. And, I don't know. Look at that, see?
It's different than the recorders, though.
It is.
It is.
It's
But if you have some
very
people that are doing some duties that,
I mean, honestly, every day, we're looking at
Yeah.
records.
right,
Scanning,
Might get
and
involved.
making records, yeah.
so there might be a certain percentage of their.
Divorce, your marriage certificates, that happens constantly.
Right. So if there's something like either Nancy or Casey or whoever you're using, or
Tracy.
yourself, or, I don't know, yeah, if some of that could come out of here, if you have a healthy balance. Just, at least just for 1 year to see, I don't know.
Okay.
I just like to see those options, what that looks like. And then. Okay. 52, thank you. County, yeah, well, it's something you don't know about. It's county elected official training, so you have 1,500 in there. I think Chris put it in there for you probably, or it's just something.
That's Tracy, the recorder does that.
Okay,
The recorder maintains that.
Cause it's,
So you didn't really ask for it,
it's
but it's in
fee-based.
there, 'cause
Okay.
I thought it was for state call trainings, but she says it's for any trainings that you go to.
for county elected officials.
So my question for you about that is, if we're doing 1,500 from here, do you need it within your own budget for yourself also, on top of $1,500?
It depends, like for me, I have, mapping and other trainings. You can't pay for any of your deputies to go to trainings out of the county elected official training. So, I use my general for county, for my deputies training on mapping, on settlement, or if, I want them to go with me because, Nicole helps with, if they're going over excise and she takes care of that, it makes more sense, for her. I pay for my deputies training out of general.
Then there may be some damage.
I think that's all for you.
Okay,
Does anyone have any questions?
thank you for not damaging.
Well, if you can just get us those answers, that'd be great. It's always okay if we ask you a question you don't know right away. It's perfectly okay
I
to
have
take it back and
absolutely-
find the answer and come back to it. So
yeah,
send us an email.
absolutely no problem claiming ignorance.
Well, I
It's
know
not
some
a
people feel like, they have to have an answer right now, but I want people to know you don't have to. It's perfectly fine to say, I don't know, but I'll check into it,
Yeah.
just like you did. I wish more people would feel that way.
I don't take too much.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
There are others are here if they want to go. I was
Okay.
filling a spot, an empty spot, so if they want to go. I
Who
have
wants-
to
okay.
stay till the end no matter what.
Yeah, yeah, she was late, so she had to stay extra late. So it's either Randy or Warren.
It don't
Randy?
make me any difference.
Did she just say I was
Are you
late?
gonna stay?
Did you just say I was late?
Yeah. You were, where you at? We started without you,
You'll-
whoever you're, you.
Oh, I never come to this. I was here because I'm at 5.
I've got something going to pass out. I already sent you a copy of this, but it's been updated a little bit from,
Is this what you know?
yes.
Okay.
There's a couple of updates on it, so.
That's exactly.
You are page 7 and 8. Okay, Warren is page 7 and 8.
I don't have the pages, so.
It's okay,
just
I got you.
As far as the budget goes, the main thing I broke down over the last couple of years and then this year. So far this year in the county, we've had 136 deaths reported to the county health department. Out of the 136, the coroner's office has worked on 101 of those out of the 136. So
What happened to the other ones?
those are deaths that people died, like at second floor of the hospital. I don't know if the hospital's had any on the second floor, or the nursing homes that once they don't have to report to us. So that's the difference. And the thing is with the deputies, I mean, I try to work the deputies, they're scheduled 120 hours each a month, roughly. Some of them works more, some works less sometimes, but at the same time, you break it down, they're only making $2.98 an hour when they're working. And they put a lot of overtime in, they don't receive overtime pay, they don't receive comp pay, they don't receive funding for phones, gas, or anything else. So I'd like to see the salaries come up a little bit, just mainly because back in 2022, the county paid, I think it was, let me find the name of this company. Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy, the county paid them to do a survey on classification and compensation studies for the county. And if you look at what they recommended and what we were actually making, we are way low compared to the counties surrounding us. And also I've got, salaries from the Association of Indiana Counties that they did in 2022. Again, we are very low as compared to the rest of the state. And for this year, the Indiana Corn Association, the last page of the, what I passed out, Perry County is ranked third lowest in the state for salaries. I mean, when Crawford County and, some of the other counties that's a lot smaller than us, are making quite a bit more, it's kind of heartbreak, that only two counties that pays less than Perry County is Pike County and Martin County, and they both got less, and they're not that far behind, Perry County, so. I
Does
just
every
like
county pay, or are they, or some counties have it like the rescue, where they don't really get paid, they're not really paid, they're more like
Some county, well, all the counties have got paid deputies. Last I was told, Spencer County, I know we can't compare us with Spencer County, they had at one time 15 paid deputies. But their pay is set up different than what ours is, because on ours, we're set up as part-time salary people. Spencer County and some of the other counties, they pay by the run, up to $125 and $150 a run. Plus, if they go to the autopsy, it's another $25 or $50 on top of that. And
would they be required to go to the autopsy?
if it's their case, they need to be there because they gotta sign off on the death certificate.
I didn't know if you had to do that.
Well, I go to all of them, but they also, the deputies that's working the case with me, they go too. But the thing is, the way Spencer County is set up, and the Spencer County coroner and I have talked about, she has a hard time keeping people, because if they're paying by the run, okay, say somebody's on the day, they get 4 calls a day, they make $500 a day. And then for the next 2 weeks, not a single person gets a call down there, they don't get a paycheck. And she has a turnover because people leave, because they can't depend on it. Where ours is set up, it's on a salary, so they are getting a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Whether they get a call or not.
And usually at the rate we're going, we're getting calls all the time anymore. So it's.
So they're on standby. Is that what?
Yeah, we gotta have somebody available, and it takes at least 2 to call. A lot of times it takes more than 2.
So are you in the rotation, or do you try to go to all?
I'm in the rotation, but I'm out there every day, even though I'm not scheduled to be there, I'm out the office every day trying to keep the paperwork caught up. Last week was kind of a bad week for us. We had 3 suicides in 1 week, so that puts a kind of damper on a lot of stuff. It takes a lot of time and effort and scheduling, trying to get a pathologist in if we have to do an autopsy, which, as you know, our autopsies are going up. I think this year we've had 14 autopsies already this year. I think last year we just had 14 total last year, and we're at 14 already this year. We've had 5 suicides this year, and it could be a 6th one, but at this time we have to decide whether it's going to suicide or accidental death. It's a drowning, but the family says the gentleman was talking suicide, but we can't find anything to prove it was suicide. But that we're going to have to work on medical records and working with the family, because it's hard to deal with because they're Hispanic and their English is terrible, a lot worse than mine. So it makes it kind of rough. But overall, the budget situation, one thing I really increased my budget on for next year is salaries. And a lot of it is I increased salaries from about what the survey said from last year and 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But at the same time with coroner salary, Crawford County coroner is quite a bit higher higher than what Perry County, and Crawford County is only the half the size of Perry County. And
What is Crawford County?
Crawford County is 10,500. Orange County is 12,666. So they're, and Orange County and Perry County is basically close to the same size. Crawford's a lot smaller than us. And I know part of our issue is the Hoosier National Forest, but Orange and Crawford's also got Hoosier National Forest, along with 9 counties total that's got Hoosier National Forest. So,
Well, just as an example, we're close in size to Spencer County, but their budget is way more than ours.
yes.
So just because we're close in size.
Well, we can't.
Doesn't
look
mean
at
we have the
Spencer
same
County,
money.
But Spencer County, I think corners at around $17,000. So, I mean, she's making almost 10,000 more than I am. And I understand, they don't have a Hoosier National Forest in their county, where we do.
The only thing is, like, when I took this job as an elected official, and mine's different than yours, my
Yeah.
job is completely different, I'm not trying to say it's the same, but, I don't know the last time the council took a raise, or even asked for a raise, so it's been,
I didn't take
10,
a
12 years, I don't know.
I didn't take a raise one year also trying to help out, but at the point that it's more and more stuff's being piled on for us to do paperwork to abide by what the state is asking for. Suicide reports, drowning, there's a special form for drownings now, one for suicides, one for infants, accident deaths. There's more and more coming up than what they used to be. Used to in this county, like most of Indiana counties, small county, the funeral homes took care of it. They didn't really ask for much of a budget because they was making their money off of the funerals. And those days are basically gone. There's a few counties that still has funeral homes doing the corners runs. Spencer County's one of them.
Do they pay them to do that? Do they pay the funeral homes to go do that?
They get paid to go pick the bodies up. So, yeah, I mean, but they didn't have to have a salary like nowadays. I mean, the funeral homes make their money off of the funerals. And on my budget, I did reduce the autopsy fees by $3,000, which that,
I think it's by $18,000.
no, just the original budget. Original budget for this year was 23,000.
Yeah,
But I had to come back and get 15 more.
so realistically, we shouldn't be reducing it, we should be.
Well,
increasing it.
we've always had 5,000 for years and it went up to 23 2 years ago. But prior to that, every time I come in and ask for money, we had to pay the newspaper, I think $50 or $60 to advertise it. So that's the reason we raised it up to 23. I dropped it back for next year, just hopefully, I'm hoping maybe we won't have as many autopsies next year. There's no way of knowing. We might have double next year what we got this
It
year.
looks like the trend is going up, you're already
It
at
is.
38,000 and you want 20 for next year.
It's going,
Well, here, like you said, you had 14 already this year and 14 total last year, so I don't see it getting less, really.
well, like I said, last year we had 16, 24, we had 16, 23, we had 23, 22, we had 11, 21, we had 9, 20, we had 11. And the number of calls are roughly about the same as what we're running now. We're running a little bit more this year at this time because last year we had 116 total calls, and so far this year we're at 101. So, and I figure we'll go over the 116 by the end of the year.
I think to be realistic in the budget, we need to look at take the last 2 years and do an average because it seems to be trending
Well,
up,
that's
not down.
what we did to come up with the 23,000 was.
It's back down. 20,000.
Yeah, I dropped it to 20 instead of 23, which that's 1.5 autopsies. If it comes to 1.5 autopsies, it'll be paid out in the next year anyway, because this year I paid for an autopsy from 2024 this year's budget because it was at a point in time in December. There's no need to try to come and ask for additional funding to pay for another autopsy, so it just carried over.
So like in 23, it was 44,000, and then 24, 27, 690, and then 25, you've got 38,000, and then we're gonna go down to 20.
Well,
I
and,
just feel like we need to be closer to what it might
well,
be.
you can put 50,000 there, but it's been, at the same time, why put it in there if we're not gonna need it? I don't know what we're gonna need. I'm just trying to try to save a little bit of money someplace, and we might not use the 20,000 next year. I don't know. Yes, we're going up each year, but at the same time, we could have where it goes down. I mean, autopsies are for the, when you don't have a good cause of death that you can put on a death certificate. That's the reason you do an autopsy, to find out what the cause of death was. Now, we go on every case, we get a hold of the clinic, the hospital, we get all the medical records of any of the doctors that the person has had, and we ask them to send us their medical records. And if the medical records really doesn't show us anything, then we're gonna have to do an autopsy. But a lot of times the medical records will show us, but at the same time, we still have to maybe do an autopsy if it's a criminal case.
You
But
have
if
a
it
lot of
goes,
criminal cases like that.
well, they've all been, I think, dropped down, police department maybe didn't file charges. But at the time they're investigating, it's a criminal case until they say otherwise. You know, same way, with this drowning victim. Is it a criminal case? Family says, gentleman's talking about suicide. Another family member says he was beat up by the drug cartel. You know, what did happen? I do know he wasn't beat up, he wasn't any marks on him in the autopsy. But you just don't know until you get into the process of investigating it. But each year, I mean, I think in 2020, I think I ended up with 12,000 extra in autopsies. 21 was 18,000. 22 was 14,000. 23 was 10, 18, 26,000.
What do you mean extra?
That's why I came back and asked for
Yeah,
extra.
those additionals,
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to avoid though. We
Yeah.
wanna try to be as realistic as possible with our budget so that we don't
Well,
come to the cash, just try to.
Everything we can go by historical.
Yeah.
Data
yeah.
and,
No, I mean, it don't make any difference whether you give me 5,000 or 50,000. If I have to do an autopsy, we have to do an autopsy.
I'm just saying the trend is going up,
Yeah,
not down.
it is, and most of the years, one year it did go down, but most years it's going up.
But the 3-year average is running around 30,000.
Yeah, right now.
So really, probably need to increase that,
But at the same time, with the budget situation, I'd rather wait and see if we actually need it before we put it in the budget. I mean, if we don't need it, the autopsy money I never use for anyplace else. When it's
I agree.
I mean, even if you put 30,000 in for next year and I only use 20, I've still got 10,000 and I transferred and moved somewhere else. I've never done that. I don't want, I figure the autopsy money is something that we need to watch, take very close tabs on. And the only reason I dropped it this year is just trying to help with the budget situation. And knowing it might go up, but if it goes up, 23 is not gonna make, to me, 23 or 20 or 23 is not gonna make any difference because 23 is actually 1.5 autopsies.
We're probably looking at 123.
Probably 30. At least.
So, it's,
Yeah.
but that's the thing, I have no way of knowing.
and you don't know, I was thinking
Take
it's
it
probably gonna be about 30.
It could
If you
be.
look at the historical and right now we're already 19,715 and we're not through the year yet, so.
Yeah, because
So
I've
we're
got,
past that.
I think there's 12,000 left right now in the autopsy fund, but we've got one autopsy we haven't paid for yet, so that's gonna put me down to about 10,000 for the rest of the year. So, that's my main concern is autopsies and body bags is my two big issues.
I think he's just saying when we budget, we just really try to be as realistic as possible, and for things that we don't know what's gonna happen, we just have to take an average, so.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, you know, whatever you wanna give me.
I hope you're right.
I hope it, you know, I keep hoping each year it'll go down but it's not done. We just don't know. You know, and, my people, goes back, I feel that at $2.98 for what they have to go through in the middle of the night and some of these calls, it's just.
It's really not $2.98. I mean, we don't break it down by the hour.
Well, no, because they're on
Because
salary.
that would be against labor law. That would not be
It's
complied.
because they're on
That's not minimum
salary,
wage.
if you break down how many hours they're scheduled and what they're getting paid, yeah, that's $2.98, even though you're not breaking it down that way, it's still, they're on call 120 hours, a minimum a month, and you just break it down, that's what it breaks down to, if you pay them by the hour. You know, actually, sometimes some of the guys and gals, they're probably making less than $1 an hour on some calls. Because sometimes it's 6, 8, 10 hours for just one case, and sometimes more, and sometimes less. But I really don't have anything else. That was,
Thank you for the information.
you know, it gives you what the county has paid. Well, for Wagner, Earl, and Shealy, I just feel that the county wastes their money paying them for that study, and I don't think the county got any benefits out of it at all. Any other questions?
So not right now.
Okay, just
If you have them, you can reach out to Warren or
Yeah,
email
just-
or.
come out to the office usually. If the door's cracked open, I'm there.
Mike Christina.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, Mr. Randy. Okay, page 27. You got a short one.
Yeah, we take care of ourselves. You'll notice, what we got? 3 line items,
Not too many.
salary for the coordinator. The dues, that's kind of a misnomer. It is dues to the Indiana Association, but that pays our insurance. So that's more of as much of an insurance premium on the equipment and stuff as anything. So that's where that money goes. And then that worthless Dan up there.
We've tried to get them to.
Well, I'll tell you the story. We got, is it 900,000, Brad? We've gotten a grant from the NRCS to do a study on this thing, make it low hazard. We could buy the house for a couple $100,000. Would it be done? That's not what's happening.
Did that house come up for sale?
It did, and now the guy that owned it got killed, so I don't know what's gonna happen this time. The Nye house, only 10 Nye house.
Okay.
So I don't know what's gonna happen to it this time.
This is, means his wife and family, or?
He's got a daughter. She's the executor of the estate, so I don't know what she'll do. He's got several properties, so I don't know what they do.
Yeah, but is that still the only house that's involved? I thought they had increased the
I don't think
inundation
they-
claim.
I don't think they
No,
have.
okay.
So if the county owned it,
Tear it down, demo it, then zone it out. Well, we can't zone it out, but we have.
and how much, they're giving you a grant to do a study?
Yeah.
And how much is it?
Somewhere around 900,000.
A study for 900,000?
Yeah.
They give you a grant for a study for
They
900,000?
gave the NRCS. Natural Resource Conservation.
Okay, so that's not just for your study.
Yeah, it was on this dam up here. They went back in now and started at the bottom, they core drilled the thing, they see what the profile is down inside the dirt. And they did
Tell me, give it
that.
to them.
Huh?
Will you just give it to them?
We've tried.
Can you give it to them?
We thought we had got it done and we laid low for 2 or 3 years and then all of a sudden it
This
raised
has
its
been
ugly
going
head.
on now 17, 18, 20 years now. We've had this, we've been fighting about this thing.
It's long
A
enough.
lawyer came from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and told us one night that if we don't want it anymore, you take the dirt, put it back where you got it, and we have.
$3 million. Right?
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of money.
Putting the dirt back was
But
more expensive than hardening it and all.
Fill it in.
So it's
Why
all.
are they allowed to build that house? Why are they allowed to build that house there?
we don't have any zoning ordinances. And her dad, the Carter, the lady that built it, her dad told her that there was only, before that dam was built, or after the dam was built, I guess, there was only, before this, there was like 4 concrete blocks high, the water all the time.
Yeah.
That was in a natural flash flood. But with the dam, in it, there's 7, and it reaches all the water out of 140 acres, empties out. In 5 minutes, there's 7 foot of water inside the house. So the water in that valley right there is 12 foot deep or so. So that's a loss of life.
What insurance for that? That seems like,
No.
I was gonna say, that would be hard, right?
That will work.
Are there any other properties around that people might build that we need to be aware of?
There's more ground down through there, yeah. But, the lawyers, the county lawyer said that we couldn't zone that out because that was taking up private activity. No,
Well, the house would make.
we couldn't zone out and make it where somebody couldn't hurt themselves. We can't. Even though that's what ought to be done.
There's no, so if that house were to come up for sale again after the estate, is there any way we can buy it and excavate the dang thing, take it down?
Unless I take my $187,000 I got for bank and buy it. No, I don't know if I've ever asked if that's legal or not. I spend my district funds on that or not. We've tried FEMA, we've done all kinds of things. FEMA was working at it, and then we said, when was the last time it flooded? We said, well, it never has. Oh, we can't give you any money. We can't do anything about it until it floods.
So, yeah.
It's too late. Okay.
So we've got a wink-wink deal with the Forest Service. We're continuing to look for some way to make it a little hazard. That's what this study's.
It's 900,000.
I think that's what it was. The big chunk of it. Check back on it.
Okay, this 6,000 that you have here is for expenses just to what, for what?
For the dam.
Just
For
whatever
mowing.
needs,
We
okay.
have to mow it, we have to maintain it. I do the work. I got in big trouble with our budget. I was stealing money.
Oh, did you get audited?
That's another sore point with me. That's between those mistakes. Big $5,000 for an audit.
We have to do it
Little bit, yeah. We're a little bit.
every year.
Had a college student did the audit from USI.
Okay.
Took her from January to May. Did that. We're charged a bunch, $5,000.
We know.
Yeah, at a bunch. I mean, last time it was done, they came in, I she worked for the state. I think. Yeah, half an afternoon or a day, she's over. They said I was conflict of interest as being on the board, and I was paying myself.
So at one point in time, we bid it out too, didn't we? And
Yeah.
They were just so ridiculously high.
That's the way it was again this year. We put out bids and $3,200 for each one. So I raised my fee to $200, $150 an hour. Did it for $1,400 the first time, so I paid $2,800. Compared to $3,200 for one time. I don't know.
So they just want you to fill out a conflict of interest form.
Yeah. And the rest of that, then every 2 years, see how tall it is, it has to be inspected by a licensed engineer.
That's cheap, I'm sure.
I
Sounds
thought it was the first, we thought it was high the first time, second time would be cheap, it was.
Almost same price.
Yes.
5,200 instead of 6,000 or no, I don't.
That's what we.
So this, we're hoping this time around, this grant thing, all this stuff's going to cover this next time.
So we may have to, after they get done with all the core samples and stuff, we're gonna have it inspected again.
Have to have somebody, I'll take a look at all that too.
Well, I just hope they don't find any more problems for you to fix.
There's no problem. But it was built to standards, and it was built for low hazard. And they built a house under, and that just causes classification to change.
Just that house is the only thing that causes it to be had.
The dam, yeah, everybody says they have to, I would put, there was a May, they published findings, they had a public meeting with the annex. And the guys did their geo study and said it was perfectly fine. Anything wrong down in the ground with this.
Would it help to get the congressman from here in on it? I think we have new ones, so I don't know. Would that be helpful to?
I don't think you guys can do much about it. Best you do is go back.
With the federal government, I don't know.
When Richard Lugar was senator, they hardened Saddle Lake. You're on Saddle Lake, it's got a set of concrete steps in it because of that. But the only way they got that done, there was a bunch of dams in Oregon that was the same shape as that one. And to get his vote, they wrote in Saddle Lake, Perry County, Indiana, on that list of dams. And devoted for $1 million. That's the only way they got the.
We need that. We need him to write something.
But there are, from what I understand, there are literally hundreds of dams out west, okay, that were built with this earthen berm structure, but they put galvanized pipe inside, and of course that rusts out, and then you have this constant erosion situation where the stability of the dam is at risk. This, the one we have, is concrete, okay, and it's heavy built, all right? So it's not in any danger. It's past its actual life expectancy, right? 50 years, I believe, is what they put on it. But it's still, they've run hammers up the pipe and everything. Doesn't seem to be any cracks or any faults in it, so it's essentially in good shape. But that also means we won't get money because all these other
Paying for taking care
are
of
going to get money first.
I'm just thinking, how will we?
There's a bridge. There's
It
two bridges.
is a shame.
There's one immediately downstream from the bridge across a quarter mile. And then there's another around the corner down here. So that's what we're trying to do. That's all we got to.
Okay.
That's
Any
what you know,
questions?
that we retire, Jane, or Darlene sent you leverage letters, what we've done. Almost $12 for every dollar that you spend on this, comes back in.
$11.79.
$11.79. Okay.
And we still get $10,000 from the state, $20,000.
$20,000 now. This, we've been returning that back into the county on cost share program for the live and cover crops.
Okay.
We did part of that money last year. Probably not do that again this year. We got another program running right now for that this year. Turn that money back into the county. A fair amount of participation. It's how you do it. So I'll tell you this education. So we got, if you're online money, you gotta have a salt test. So guys, we can do this. They don't remember what this was. They never did it before. So they're putting on, one guy was putting online, which had been put on phosphorus. You know, it was like, he wasn't doing it right. He wasn't, too much.
Out the foot.
Yeah, he wasn't the right things.
Thank you.
You're
Can I have any questions for him?
welcome.
Sorry, we ran over a little bit.
That's
Thank you.
and have a good evening. I'll leave you up.
There she is.
We can just roll it up and go home now.
Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I love you all. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, boy. All right. Page 2, All right, page 2. Or we'll let her start first. She has a smiley face on here.
Yeah, you need a smiley face, right?
Although you colored in.
Just want to make sure you saw the smiley face. Okay, so page 2 on the auditors, as far as anything, which we'll get into the wages in a minute, not really any changes. If you have any questions, I feel the auditor's office has made cost and time efficient changes over the past few years. I don't need to really go into the changes we've made, but I'm sure you guys are aware of going through remote claims, which saved a lot of money on checks, ink, postage. We we encourage and very rarely allow any of our vendors to be paid by check unless it's just a one-time payment. We do pay our jurors by check if they don't provide basic ACH information, but we try to get ACH. To cut down on postage costs, ink, and check costs. Flatbook, there's no changes. Oh, sorry. I'm going to my notes.
That's okay. What page now?
Page 2, flatbook.
Flatbook
is page. Flatbook is page 47.
Yeah, I missed that.
Okay. Of course, there is the dollar pay out of that for all full-time positions and auditors. That's something that's been around for a while. It wasn't like 72 cents. And in 23, I think we bumped it up to $1. I do want to point out that the auditor's office, since we took on the administrator duties, we do pay for all of the council and commissioners' office supplies and postage out of our budget, which is very minimal, but they were.
When you print me these beautiful papers.
Anything you need, your little thingies, like when we get new people, I didn't have anything to pay them out of because you guys don't have anything, so I just something
They're pretty cheap.
anything, yeah. I think we're pretty efficient on what we do, but all of our office supplies are paid out of Flatbook, no general fund dollars. I think that's something that we've switched in the last couple of years. I'm trying to take relief off the general fund, as minimal as possible.
What does this comment forestry has been added to the county payroll?
Forestry used to be paid by a stipend or paid by check.
Forestry, explain.
Forestry, our officers that do forestry work, they used to be paid just and given a 1099, if
Our
they were over
officers,
there.
who are the officers?
Sheriff officers that work forestry, the deputies.
Right.
And then the forestry would reimburse, but they were using county vehicle. So since they were doing that, it needs to be included in their wages. So all that is done. So now it's a little iffy because, I'm gonna say this on public record, I think a lot of these officers use that check as their little slush fund. Now it goes on their check. Forestry, it comes out of their payroll and then we bill forestry, so it's a reimbursable.
It's not in the sheriff's office. So, I mean.
Where is this forestry? That's here.
Forestry, there's an account line, there's a fund, not an account line, there's a fund. And so then it's a reimbursable, it runs negative, then it's reimbursable.
I mean, you can
I'll run a
get
fund
one.
report, yeah, I'll give you the fund for the forestry. Forestry fund.
So they control like the government, the state or the federal parks and tips on all those, right? And that right?
So you said line up something that was done. It's been done for years, but the difference is we now do it on payroll instead of through claims.
So then where now?
Riverboat, consulting costs have increased, their hourly rate. I do know that we use Wagner and Shirley a lot more than what we used to for HR questions, as the HR is just not, none of us in our office are trained in HR. So for we use consulting, I know we've done a lot with our personnel policy, trying to clean a lot of things up, so we asked them a lot of questions.
Is this for Baker Tilly?
I pay both of them out of that. Baker Tilly and Finer Irwin initially out of my consulting. And also, you guys don't have any consulting lines or anything like that. I know that, we've had to use consulting different times for, so it's all paid out of the auditors. There's no, if you call Wagner Irwin Shilly or you call Baker Tilly, they do that all under Perry County, and it all comes out of that.
Wonderful. I wish it was going down actually.
I would like it to, but too many changes, too many questions, too much stuff.
So we feel like at some point, we are spending ourselves, charge that when it's a become a part-time position. And then with somebody with, I mean, I don't know, it just seems like a lot of money.
Or we have benefits and all that stuff, I mean, definitely costs more.
Can you contract with them for so many hours, or, I mean, is it just?
I don't believe, I can check on contracting, but
I didn't know.
I doubt it, but I'll check.
No, Baker Tilly's fees are pretty high. What do you call them? It's what, between $100 and $400?
I don't know, as much as I can. But it's common, most all auditors have a financial advisor that they have to use. We're not licensed CPAs, there's a lot of changes that are coming on. I don't think a lot of anybody knows what exactly, with all the changes in legislation right now, what it looks like. I can't give a definite answer. You might talk to one person and get one thing, and so we're all just kind of rolling dice right now. Then going in, I did want to say my original plan for 2026 was just to ask for the 5% stipend bonus from 2025 to be included in 2026 wages. I then had some conversations with some of my staff, primarily my HR payroll deputy, who is almost still my first deputy, and I know she's okay with this. We sat down and spoke about a lot of things that have been, duties that have been added. And she also provided me with some comparable county positions, that their wages are higher. So if you would like to look at those, feel free to contact me. So then that puts a sour taste in her mouth with all the responsibility and everything that she has to do. It was then that I changed my mind. The auditor's office is the hub of the county. I have to have skilled people working in that office, and turnover is going to be very costly and very stressful. By no means am I discrediting any other county office. We all work hard. I can just speak for the auditor's office. But here are some points. Since 2023, the auditor's office / administrator has gone from 7 full-time positions to 5. We're being efficient with taxpayer dollars. No one was let go, but when people left, we reevaluated and decided, hey, we're gonna bundle it up. I would rather have the 4 people working by my side who work diligently, and there will be they need rewarded for that. I think 5 people is definitely a cost savings for 5 people from 7, and the work has just increased. Since 2023, we are now being audited by the State Board of Accounts every year. You all know how time consuming that has been. I literally feel like I run from AFR into audit into budget, and then it's the end of the year. All the reporting has majorly increased that we have to do. The annual financial report, along with the reports to the Department of Local Government Finance. Our grants and grant reporting have increased. we spend a lot of our time on grant reporting. The solid waste department has been added to the county. That's added employees, added turnover there, where we're constantly have to onboard and offboard employees. Forestry has been added as we talked, which is now an additional in payroll, which is just some things that my HR and payroll deputy brought up. The big thing is insurance responsibility on the county has increased due to the broker that we are with. I'll be open and honest with that. Open enrollment is a hands-on at the county level. More of the insurance reporting is a responsibility of my office in the county, as the previous broker took care of a lot of this, and the new broker does not. Cobra is now responsible of the county, as previous broker took care of this, and new broker does not. Monthly reassurance reporting is responsibility of the county, as previous broker took care of this, and new broker does not. So the added responsibility for my HR and payroll deputy, which then does not give her much time, so then other things get added onto my plate and other deputies' plates.
But one thing, you forgot to put on, does the county save $200,000 by switching to that insurance program?
That is the provider, not the broker.
Well, okay,
The
but
provider, not the broker.
the broker got us into that.
Another broker could have got the two.
No, they didn't, so.
They offered it, they just because, we'll leave it at that, Delicate. We'll leave it at that. The added responsibilities to come with the SEA one, I feel like that's all I'm working on right now. And not getting a lot of straight answers. So like I said, I was just going to ask for the 5% stipend. I don't feel like I'm asking for off wages. I'm not looking for an increase for myself. I like even numbers, so I just did even numbers. You're more than welcome to use those odd, crazy numbers. My HR payroll deputy, I'd like to have her at $25,000 or $25 an hour. $25 an hour. I think that is very doable for the work that she provides. And my lead financial deputy, who provides service to all departments in the county, as far as everything, at $22 an hour. She's currently at, let me back up. Kelly, or HR payroll at $25. She's currently at 22.25. Lead financial deputy at $22 an hour. She's currently at 21.59. Tax billing deputies, they're currently at 20.70. I'd like to bump them up to $21 an hour. The total increase in salaries I'm asking for is $7,242. With FICA and PERF expenses, it will be an added expense of $8,607.12.
I'll do like time attendance, did that help?
We didn't use loud time attendance. I would really like if we were with loud time attendance, but we're not.
Okay.
Because,
Well, we're with LAO, but we're with a different time and attendance. But I think what he means is those kind of softwares.
we talk about,
Software.
He just means like
Okay.
time and attendance and LAO when we upgraded.
I don't know anything different. I've only been here with loud. So I cannot tell you the comparison from Paris to loud.
I mean, I think that should have increased efficiency, I think.
When we did the time and attendance software, absolutely.
Both, I think Loud should have also, and I know you're just being with Loud.
Well, I think a big efficiency change is going from paper pencil claim
Right.
forms to remote claims. And we did that in 23, which was a huge change. That's a huge cost savings and time savings, which allowed me to eliminate. That's the reason why we went to eliminating the deputy with that and the time attendance software, which is with Van Island, which is, we're there. I mean, I feel like we're there. It's just an ongoing, it's a new program. We're the first. So we're the first.
You're there, as in you've got the
I
kinks
think
pretty
we-
much worked out.
I think we have.
Okay.
I mean, I think that there's still things that happen. It's different, but we're good.
Okay. But you say you're not asking for any increase for yourself, but you really are because that's
$62, I just,
No, the stipend,
stipend.
you're saying the stipend, you want 5%. Because
I'm not asking for an increase. I'm asking for the bonuses to be
to
added,
be a salary, 5% salary increase.
to
Because
be
you're,
included, yes.
because technically your salary is 5% less, it was just a one-time thing, so.
I'm asking for the stipends to be,
To turn into a 5% raise.
and a little bit more for my staff. So if you want to take, I just like even numbers, so that's what we're looking for instead of you keep it at that.
And I think you ran me the numbers on that, I have it in step somewhere, and I think the extra, between the extra week and the 5% stipend,
It was like 14 and then 228, is that right? 114,000 was the extra week and 228.
I mean, it's a lot.
I'm just telling you that if we have to do, we have to do what we have to do, and I am looking at the same numbers that you are and wondering how the heck we're gonna cut $2.2 million from the general budget. I'm seriously looking at that. But I'm just saying that we have got to take care of our employees because if they have to be filled for shit. I am gonna say this, I didn't talk about this or bring it up this year, but I have been pushing for this since I've been here, and I will continue to keep pushing for it. I feel that we need to evaluate our wages. We need to add longevity into our wages. We cannot continue to have people that have been here 15 and 20 years making the exact same amount of money as someone who starts on day one. I would like to see a wage committee form to where we have a base salary and then you have a skill set per position added to that and longevity to where we're rewarding employees who are staying here. And I've asked that and said I'd be a part of assisting with that for the last 2 budgets. I brought it up to the personnel policy in beginning of this year and said, hey, instead of forming another committee, why don't we add a non-exempt employee to the personnel policy committee and have the personnel policy serve as the wage committee. And I was told the council would take care of that. They would form a wage committee. So.
Putting $2.2 million, and I mean, if we were gonna do wage increases across the board, I need to know what people are gonna be cut, because I don't know how that's gonna ever happen. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't disagree that we need to
I'm
do
just
what we
saying,
can,
I
it's
think we
just,
need to look at it.
we have, yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, absolutely. It's also, I'm just gonna continue to bring it up every year in January, that I think we need a wage committee. And we have a personnel policy committee. I don't know why we don't have a non-exempt employee on our personnel policy committee. Because I think they need representation in our personnel policy as well. But I would like to see longevity as a portion of it, even, yeah. So that's what I've got. I'm here to help in any way I can. I did reach out to Daryl Schmidt today because I'm just utterly confused at the fact of why the information I'm getting from our financial advisor, Baker Tilly, that our circuit breaker is eating up every bit of the increase and some. And I can't, so.
Yeah, there's conflicting information, and
Conflicting
it's very
information.
unsettling.
Very.
Because here we go into,
He's looking into
Oh,
it. He's looking into it. But when you're getting this information from your legislators in black and white, and then your financial advisors, we're not the only ones. I've reached out to other counties, we're not the only ones.
there's a disconnect somewhere.
Yes.
It is strange, but we have to, that's my
Gotta
problem
have that information.
with the budget, we have to have the right information.
I think that maybe the circuit breakers weren't taken into consideration. But I did look today and the changes with the agricultural and non-residential, I shouldn't say that, Lisa Ecker is really good and likes to dive into things. And so we're trying to figure out why. But our assessed value is, with that change, has decreased the AV by $19,000. So if you take, or $19 million. So if you take that times the tax rate, That's a huge decrease in assessed value.
Even with,
That's just so contrary to what,
how did our rate go down?
I don't know, I didn't say the rate, I'm about rate now.
When your value goes up, your rate goes down. So how did we decrease our value and then the rate didn't go up? Something's wrong. Right?
I don't know anything about, I just know that
Something's not right.
our assessed value for agricultural and non-residential with those deductions has decreased our net assessed values by $19 million in our system.
the cost of ground has gone from 2,000 to 6,000.
Can we find that somewhere? Can
It's
I,
with the deductions, yeah.
where can I see that at?
You know, it's like, well, that,
I mean, but when your value goes up, your rate goes down and our rate's all the way down, so how
It's
does the
with the
value go
circuit
down?
breaker and the deductions, that's what it is, it's with the circuit breaker and the deductions decreases that, so those deductions come off of your assessed value, so that decreases it by 19 million. So those deductions have decreased it.
your net assessed valuation went down.
Yeah.
So technically, your tax rate should go up.
It didn't. It went down. Everybody's,
But they're changing a lot of the,
something's not working.
I don't know. Maybe we're missing a piece of it, evidently, or something.
and I can't get heads or tails of the answers I'm getting, I mean, I couldn't even make heads or tails from that email we got today.
It's very unsettling going to budget, not knowing.
Well, you said
What are the
that
true
time,
numbers?
say
That's
you-
not right.
How can we budget if we don't know?
I don't think the circuit breaker was figured in prior. I think the circuit breakers are what are affecting it. I think that those figures from the state legislators are prior to the circuit breaker. And the circuit breaker deductions. And I think that's what it is.
Is your employee back?
I think that's what they need to. So what's getting us is the circuit breaker. I hope so too.
And yes, the 1 week in the 5% cycle, 342,000, 125, 57. Okay, you were right, 114.
It's an impossible job if it's not.
Are any of those outside agencies coming in?
I sent, but I didn't have a request, I just sent it, I did send, put it on our website and,
Did they come in? I was expecting them to come tonight, I didn't know.
oh no, they're on the 11th.
Oh,
They're on the
okay,
11th.
I thought this department missed some of them.
Remember, we did it all in one night, and it was too much.
Okay, so they're coming, yeah, I just want to make sure we give them an opportunity to go forward. Thank you. Thank you for me, that was work, appreciate it, and thanks for, the other guys, I know we ran over, so. Thanks for letting them go ahead of you. Okay, is there anything else? We have a lot of work to do, like you said. If the numbers are right, we're 2.2, 2.3 million that we have to cut.
Which, a lot of that too is, in the email, we counted, and you can't, we counted the interest before as revenue in the general fund. So it's not guaranteed revenue, but it was part of the revenue in the general fund. And now we don't have the general fund, the interest going into the general fund anymore, so that's less, can't count on that for budgeting, but that's less income into the general fund.
But we never really budgeted from it. I mean, it was just like it
We included it on this, so when I gave you the 6.9 revenue last year, that was counting interest, not your estimated interest, not the exact, and of course, we had an exceptional year last year, but you count it as part of your miscellaneous revenue, which you don't have to budget off of, no, but it was included when I gave you your estimated revenue last year of 6.9, that was including interest. So we're no longer doing that.
But I don't think we ever budgeted it. I mean, we didn't find departments and say we're gonna pull this from interest and pull this. from-
No, but it's part of your, it was part of your, when you asked me what's your estimated revenue, when you fill out that Form 4B and you put in your your estimated revenue for the general fund to offset your estimated expenditures, the interest was in there. So you're going from 6.9 and you're taking, we don't have that in there anymore. And so now that's less revenue in the general fund.
Which we shouldn't be doing reoccurring expenses.
I do understand that not budgeting your revenue, but you have to have that, it helps with 80% of your, over 80%, 80 to 90% of your expenditures come out of general fund. So if we don't have, you have to have the revenue to support those expenditures. You can't guarantee on having a year like we have the last year on interest, but it adds to the fluff, if that makes sense, where it helps with the 25 to 35% on reserve. It helps fund the additional appropriations. It helps fund, the spotting it till you get it. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm just really worried that if we don't have that 25 to 35% on reserve in general fund, then we're gonna have to end up getting to where we're doing temporary loans to the general fund till we get settlement and get all that stuff. That's why you have that reserve in there, and they recommend you to have 25 to 35%, and we've worked up to getting that in there, which I do feel a lot of the help was the interest, because prior to 2024, the interest was going into other funds where we changed it to where it was just going into the general fund. So we built that reserve up in there now, which is fine, but it's not, it's gonna decrease. It's gonna decrease. It's not counted in your revenue at all now, where it was in your miscellaneous revenue. That interest has changed. So you're going from 6.9,
6.4.
6.4.
So 6 million, so like 400,000. That's what they have.
Yeah.
But
6.4 to 6.
we'll try to stay within budget.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Do I have anything?
Want to adjourn?
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that
Unless you
motion.
want to stay here.
I
Okay,
will stay all night.
okay, motion made by Stan, okay. To stay all night or? Adjourn. Okay, second by Corey, all in favor say aye. Aye.
They.
He wants to stay, okay. Gail, you're welcome to stay. I don't know what happens here.